Well, we're talking of an industrial building. Say, why an industrial building right next to downtown like this on the Faubourg, the East End? Well, you have to imagine this area, which used to be an area of the city with the villas and country homes. Gradually, because of the expansion of the harbor, because of the coming of the railway connected to the harbor and so on, became part of the Montreal industrial complex, the great manufacturing system that we associate very much with the Lachine Canal area, but also happened east of the city, Hochelaga, Maisonneuve, these were very important industrial places. And that area, so close to the center, to the Quartier Latin and so on, also held a number of factories and plants. Don't we think about the Molson brewery by the river, but as you move up on the towards Sherbrooke and so on, there were other facilities and Usine C, which is a great facility for theater and create artistic creation now, is actually an old jam factory turned into a cultural powerhouse. Now, the building that burned down dates from 1910. It was originally a soap factory. It was built on a design of architect Eugène Payette, who did the Bibliothèque Saint-Sulpice and the City Library, so major civic buildings and cultural function, the same architect as this soap factory. And it was done for a leader of the French-Canadian industrial class, Mr. Joseph Barsalou. And so it was very trivial, a soap factory. But clearly they put effort in having it lasting. The soap I'm not sure the soap factory we design and build today would last over 100 years, in a way. So these are elements of context. It has a special place in the cityscape in the fact that Mr. Barsalou didn't budge when the project of the harbor commissioner came to build the Jacques-Cartier Bridge. And as a result, he refused to be expropriated, and he got the bridge to bend around his factory. And that's why you have that special shape to the approach to the bridge as you come from Montreal and go towards the south. But you say 2019, so we're 7 years later. There was a project about to be finalized, we understand, from the borough for the redevelopment of the site with a high density, a tall building, a high rise being authorized with consideration to the integration of the heritage building. So it's not just you put everything down and build a high rise. You have the right we give you the right to build a high rise as long as the heritage building is part of the project. And that's commendable. It can be argued in favor, but what happens if the heritage building is cleared out by the fire department as a result of this fire? Is there any sort of reduction on the bonuses that the project gained and so on? So there will be a need for explanation also on that side. The question is also, could the city of Montreal and the boroughs be part of that process? But sort of imagine the time, 7 years in waiting for a project, and it could have, before they started doing the actual work, probably it would take the better part of 2026. So could there have been temporary uses for the building that would have kept it alive under some kind of surveillance and functionality? It sounds like a very naive question, but you see that's something that perhaps we should really put ourselves to work on. It was part of the City of Montreal Heritage Action Plan to favor this kind or support this kind of initiative, so that temporary use is actually a mean of saving buildings. And it serves society, because if the use exists and they need a place to stay, we provide the spaces for the needy one. And there are different ways to approach that. This is being done in Europe. This is being done in the US, our neighbors. And so the city didn't imagine a way to do it, but somehow they didn't move into let's do it. And it's nice to have a plan of action, but you shouldn't stop at the level of the plan. You should move into the action. And in the case of vacant building, we have dozens of them. There's literally for churches, which is a bit of a, typical landmark building. Officially, there's 12 churches that are vacant in Montreal. Doesn't sound like a very big number, but imagine the challenge of repurposing, adapting a church to a new use. At least if the basement could serve some community purpose in the meantime, you would have somehow a guardian angel with the building.